Good afternoon. My name is Thomas Nolan, and I'd like to talk about two of the first studies um, that relates to motivation that we have. I want you to think about over the years how people worked. One was slavery. One was the serfs, that is the owner or the king or the well-to-do people owned the land and you worked the land. Another one was the system where you worked under somebody and you worked for them over the years, and when they died, you took over. As time changed and technological advances took over, the whole idea changed. So think about the United States before 1900. People were mostly rural. Cities were beginning to be developed, and they were getting larger and more populated. And many people started leaving the farm because of various problems they're in and moved to the cities. And they found work in factories. Now, there's always somebody trying to improve on production. And so the current idea at the time was that people were mercenaries, that you had to crack the whip, so to speak, that they were more concerned about making money, but they also called them lazy. And so the scientific method was a way of cataloging and refining studies that would allow industry to do what they wanted to do most, and that is increase profits. So they treated people like a mercenary. So just consider that you got to be on the job at certain times, you got to be supervised very closely, and that they're constantly after you. And the whole thing is, what is the bottom line? How can I get the most out of this worker? That was in the early 1900s. In the 20s, one of the first studies came about that was run by psychologists. At the Hawthorne plant in Chicago, they decided to take a group of people and see if they could increase, what would be the effect on like lighting, teams, and so forth. And so they ran several experiments with a group of ladies. They were put in a separate room, and one of the first things they did was they increased the lighting, they decreased the lighting, and then they changed the equipment. They made sure they had more than what they needed, and sometimes they had less than what they needed. They tried to break them up into teams. And the thing about it is, no matter what they did, they found out, production increased. Now think about that. All these ideas they had that was going to affect production, no matter what they did, this group of women increased production. And out of this, it came out that this was the first idea of social needs, that these group of women felt special. They bonded with each other. As they felt special and bonded with each other, no matter what they did, they felt like this is the way it is, we're going to make the best of it. So this led to psychologists then saying, wow, this is a new way of looking at these things. And out of this comes Maslow, Hertzberg, Vroom, Adler, and quite a few other people that leads up to the ideas we have today. So the very foundations has to do with farm workers coming to the cities to work in factories and being treated as mercenaries, being treated as soldiers. And then a group of women made them feel very special because they were isolated and treated in such a way that made them feel like, hey, we can do this.